In today's episode, I talk with Coach Robert of the Dyersburg State Community College Women's Program. If you like our interviews here at Discover College Soccer, I would truly appreciate it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you're more of a podcast person, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you like, whether that's Apple, Google, Spotify, or any of the others out there. And don't forget to follow us on all the social media channels. We are at Discover_CS. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Discover College Soccer. Today, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Coach Luttrell from Dyersburg State Community College in Tennessee. Welcome, Coach.
How you doing? I really appreciate you doing this.
No, I'm glad you're here. You got a women's soccer program there on the western side of Tennessee. So let's talk a little bit about how you get players there, right? So on the recruiting front, when are you usually starting to talk to players? What year in high school? Where do those conversations usually tend to happen?
Honestly, junior, senior years when the group that I'm really trying to go after. I spend a lot of time on that. That's a focus of mine. But recruiting, I'll be quite honest. Soccer's so easy. I love soccer so much. The hardest part of this is the recruiting part, because you have to maintain like year-round relationships all the time, like just checking in on them, making sure they're okay, just so they know that you care and that you know that you exist. So, but that is the hardest part of this job, is the recruiting aspect.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, do you tend to focus on high school or club, and are there tournaments that you know are must watch TV where you got to be there, get in front of people, or what's the best way you find to see players and start those conversations?
I do use I use a lot of coaches. Like, I'll reach out to coaches of programs that I know that are historically good in our area for high school, but then I also reach out to clubs, go to tournaments, things of that nature. Use a lot of websites as far as like I pretty much the gambit, like anything and everything. Also, players that reach out to me, that's a huge one. Players reach out to me, but the fact that we don't know they exist. There might be a great player that's 2 counties over who's just killing it, and everyone just assumes that we know them. Like, I'm sure you know about player X. Is like, no, there's a lot going on. It's a huge world. It's and there's players out there that get overlooked because they just assume that we know them all, and we don't. And I've gotten some real gems just that kind of fell into my lap because they reached out to me. So all conference players, just I didn't know they existed until the last second. So
We are excited to be part of Podcast Row at the 2023 United Soccer Coaches Convention in Philadelphia from January 11th to the 15th, and we hope we will see you there. The convention is the ultimate event for soccer coaches, administrators, and fans of the beautiful game. Ignite your passion through captivating presentations, on-field demonstrations, exhibits, and networking events for coaches at the youth, high school, college, and pro levels. Whether you are attending alone or bringing the whole coaching staff, there's no better place for soccer coaches to learn, network, and experience the latest trends in soccer education. Register now for the lowest possible price. Visit www.unitedsoccercoachesconvention.org to register. We can't wait to see you all in Philadelphia. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Well, what about camps? Do you guys do any at the school?
we do.
Have you been able to be part of camps, or your staff part of camps?
We
How do
do.
camps fit in?
I don't do a lot of other people's camps. I have opportunities to do them, but I have 4 kids and a full-time job, and I have the opportunity. My wife would murder me if I spent any more time outside of soccer on other soccer. Like, and it's a recruiting process. I love my wife. I love my kids. Any downtime I get, we talked about that before the video started. Just anytime I can get with my family and spend some quality time with them, I want to do that. I do host a camp. I have college friends that make fun of me because I only charge like $30. Like, I just want to get them a shirt and see who they are. And I have college friends that pick on me and say, you should trying to make money on that, because your ID camps are a way to make money. It's like, man, I just want to see the kids. I just want to see the players. I just want to know. I'm not trying to price gouge anyone on that. And we do a camp, and we'll probably do it pretty soon in November. And I'll get the word out and try to do it through social media and things like that. But the most important thing in camps is just to have them there and to put eyes on them and to know that and watch them with other teammates.
Yeah, no, that's good. Well, whether it's at club games, high school games, camps, anything, you're looking at players. What is your kind of hierarchy in terms of what you're looking for in a player, whether it's on the field stuff, off the field stuff, what makes someone an attractive player for you that you want to recruit?
You kind of see when you obviously I want them to be technical. I want them to be fundamental. I want them to have everything like that. I want to watch. You can watch a player and like just in the first like 2 minutes, you can see how they see the field. But I also want to see how they interact with each other. Like I want to see. I'll be quite honest. I don't want to deal with a. I would rather have a player that's a great teammate, a great worker, and is going to put the time in versus someone who's just all world. But man, they're a handful to deal with. It just I want, and I'll reach out to coaches. Like as soon as I find a player that I really like, I'll contact the coach, and then I might kind of like contact other players to find out what she's like as a teammate. That matters. Now, here's the other thing that matters that didn't come into play in the beginning because I thought I could fix it is academics. Like I've come across that quite a bit to where a player I saw that they struggled academically. I thought I can get them into tutoring. I can fix all this. I can do it. But if they don't have a good foundation, even academically, I'll only have them for like a semester. So I want it all. I want a great teammate, great player, great academics. But if I had to choose one, I'd say teammate and work ethic is the ones.
No,
Those would be the high end ones.
no, that's great. Um, well, I think a lot of people may have misconceptions around, community colleges and that kind of thing with regards to price and the availability and what they can really get out of a community college as an option. So can you, and I'm not holding you to hard numbers here, but can you just give me a rough overview of what the financial aid situation looks like, what the cost of attending, are there athletic scholarships at your school? Kind of what does the whole kind of price money picture look like there?
Absolutely. I will tell you this: if you're in Tennessee, you go for free, completely free academically, and we throw Tennessee Promise, Hope Scholarship, those things kind of kick into play, and pretty much everything I give is just on top of that. Like so, you go for free. If you're in the state of Tennessee, you would go completely for free. Now, if you're out of state, we have waivers that we give, but our school is not expensive. Like a total year round for our school is probably like 4,500 at the most for the entire year. And it would get all your stuff in the beginning, it knock all those things out their first, second year. It also give you an opportunity to play. Now, out of state, usually I try to do everything I can to take away what they would cost for the school, but then the housing kicks in. And housing, I do my best. Again, 4 kids, wife, I understand all of that. I do not come from a rich background. I know you look at me and you say, school teacher, he's rich, but that's not the case. I understand from that aspect, and I'll try to keep the price down. So what we usually do is have girls in houses, and usually charge about $300 to $350 a month to live in a house. And it's usually nice house, nice neighborhood. I always think to myself, would I put my kid in this situation? If I wouldn't, then we don't. We have a really good setup, but the school doesn't actually provide housing. State of Tennessee, that's kind of on the player, but we have good kind of outlets for that and things of that nature. But I would say if you wanted to go someplace, if you didn't get the chance, if you haven't had the opportunity, or you want to even go to a 4 year after this is a great starting point, man. We watch out for you. We only have 20 players in the roster. We're watching out for you on and off the field. It is a great opportunity for someone, and it's not going to cost an arm and a leg. And you get to play. That's the number one thing. Like I've asked my daughter who played for me, and she went on to win a national title with the program after us in NAIA. I asked her, I said, what's the real selling point? What would make you want to come to Dyersburg State? She said, the opportunity to play matters more than anything. She wants to be able to be out there and play. That's what we give you. That's the thing that's outside of money, is that we give an opportunity to come in and contribute from day one. So I try to keep the roster low. I don't want 25 girls. I want 20 players, and that's what we would deal with.
Okay. Well, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the school. What, I think you've been there a few years. You can kind of give us some inside scoop. What's some awesome stuff about the school that maybe I'm not going to find just by clicking through the website?
I would say the teacher ratio, I would say the fact that we're actually, there's Dyersburg State Community College in Dyersburg, and then we're offset. We're like a campus to itself. And the only sport we have is soccer. They just built us a facility. They just built us a field. That we're the only one with the field currently at the campus in Tennessee. But what really makes a difference is it's a small school that has the numbers almost equal to the main campus. We're going to grow so much in this one area, but everybody in the county knows you. Like, it might not be something you like because they're going to know who you are in the hall. You've kind of run the school. Like, they'll say, hey, what's up, Michaela? Hey, Bailey, how you doing? Like, the secretaries know you, the teachers know you. There's an open door policy to talk to the dean of the school. Like, anytime you have an issue, like, hey, I have a parking issue, you can talk to the dean. To where, like, other schools, you have to jump through 5 hoops to get to someone that matters. It is not the way here. It is the way, and we try to do a really good job of like that community mattering. We try to make sure that we're involved as far as with each other, and as far as academics and things, like, we've killed it. The last, we've been here for 4 years, and we've been all academic twice of those 4 years. The COVID year was a little tough. Those students really struggled with the online stuff, but 2 out of the 4 years, we've had a 3.3 or higher GPA. Nurses, our nursing program is fantastic. We have so many little offsets. Like, I know this, in 4 years, we've had 5 nurses. And of course, they come to practice crying because the classes are so hard, but they are making it. And they're already out there making money in the world after 2 years. And they didn't go on. And one of them went to go get her BS in another school, but she could have easily just finished here, too. We do a really good job of making sure they come in and we put academics at a high priority. So that 3.3 GPA is something I'm proud of, and I'm always wanting to get that higher.
No, and speaking of academics, no matter what, any student going from high school to college, it's going to be a struggle balancing your studies and those sport commitments. So what else, what does the school do? What do you do as a team? Kind of what support mechanisms are there in place for your student athletes as they come into the program?
Well, it's a weird dynamic. It's like, normally, like, when you're in high school, your family's involved. But when you get to college, there's like a wall between you and what your parents can know. I know what their grades are. I'll be able to stay on top of it. Like, I'll get reports from professors about, like, hey, they're doing great. They're doing excellent. Hey, this girl's missed a few classes. I get to go ask and say, hey, did you not go to A&P this week? So I get to stay on top of that and help with it. But there is a disconnect, because when you're in high school, sometimes you can just be a great kid who works really hard, and the teacher will help you get the grade. In college, it's a different ballgame. Like, they respect you to be an adult, and they expect you to go, and I expect you to go to tutoring. I have them go for 2 to 3 hours a week for tutoring. Even if you don't need it, you're going just in the lab. And I know this, in the labs, the people that are in that labs working to try to help get their grades up, they almost harass those kids. Like, they go to, hey, you need any help? Hey, you need anything? That's what I want, though. I want them to get that. Now, if you start struggling in class, we'll make you go to more study all hours, and your grades matter, man.
Yeah.
They matter because they help you in scholarships. They help you in your future career. And you know this because you and I were students at one time. We could have done better. If you let me get away with it, you let me slack off, I'll probably slack off. But if you stay on top of me, I will. I don't know. You might have been a 4.0 everywhere you went.
No.
I was not.
No.
And I could have done so much better. So probably wouldn't even be here. Right
I
now.
just like to say I maximize my opportunities in all facets of school. Yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Enjoy yourself.
Well, so can you do me a favor? Give me a little bit of a walkthrough. Give me a day in the life here during the season, or a standard week with classes and games. When are kids going to class? When are they practicing? What travel do you have? Just give me the overview.
Our season, and this is all JUCO in Tennessee. I think it's almost all JUCO anywhere. I'm not sure about that. August 1st is pretty much the time. And we go in it for the first like 2 to 3 weeks. We don't have class. So we're going at it 2 days. We're doing everything we can to get back in shape, because I know that they didn't do the summer workout like they should have in the summer. Obviously, we're trying our best to get them back in the rhythm of things. And then when school starts back, I ease off a little bit on that. Like and even like when the season starts, we'll go in the afternoons. We won't go in the mornings. I was going in the mornings, but I tell you this, the dew was killing them. Like in Tennessee, that dew was eating their feet up alive as far as like they had blisters, blood blisters, all that stuff. So I changed it out to where we go in the afternoon. They go to like about 3:30, depending on the temperature. If the temperature is too high, we'll even back it up to even later. I'm different. I'm a grown man, and I understand that I'm not probably going to get fired off things like if I have a losing season, they're not going to like just say you're out, you're done. I also want to make sure that we care about them as human beings. The number one focus has been mental health. We have spent a large amount of time ever since COVID on mental health. It has done a number on quite a few players. Like who would have thought locking them in a building and not let them have any interaction would hurt them. But we've done a lot of mental health recently just to protect players, make sure that's been a focus of ours. In fact, when they come to practice, and I know you want me to get to my week.
No, you're fine.
But it changes like the beginning of the season to the middle of the season, because sometimes we have 3 games a week, 4 games a week, and girls are having to do stuff like on the bus, and they have deadlines and things of that nature. It changes and it fluctuates. And I try to be reasonable with how we deal with them. Every situation is different. It is not just a rigid, every day, this is it. Like if I feel like we need to push practice back because the temperature, we will. If I feel like, if a player says, hey, I'm drowning in this one class, can I miss? And I say, yes. And your playing time is not going to get hurt by that. Now, we'll have a conversation like, hey, try to get the stuff in order to help this. But as I said, every day is like a different roadblock. And there's freshmen deal with a family, like being away from their family. The school's tougher, college is tougher. It is a lot to take in as a freshman. And sophomores can help you guide through that. We do like a system to where like we have an older, almost like a sister system to where they kind of watch out for the other ones. And I try to be very selective on that to try to help them out. But it can be a lot to deal with. College is not, as I said, we even do a thing after. I stole this from my nurses because nurses do this after they have like on the floor. I stole this from them. We do this like decompression kind of thing. Like at the end of practice, we'll have a one-on-one with a coach, and we'll just ask like, "Hey, tell me about what's going on. How's life? How's school?" And sometimes it's great, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's an overload. Boyfriend just broke up with me. School's killing me. I miss my family. College is tough. It's a lot. And just the colleges, the games themselves. In high school, most of these girls play like one really tough game, like every 3 weeks. And then the rest of the teams are just playing like are almost like just trash. But college, every single time you step up, it's almost like I would say on this level is very comparable to when I coach Division II club. It's very like every single game is going to be competitive. Some teams you'll run across are pretty easy to beat. But most of the teams, you're going to have to really grind it out 90 minutes to make a difference. And that's also a difference. Those extra 10 minutes from high school to college matter too. So
Absolutely. Well, let's talk more about the on the field stuff. And you mentioned it earlier. I said so you're keyed on trying to get a roster size of around 20, is that it?
yes, sir.
Okay. And then do you have any other staff, or is it you as a solo coach over there?
I have staff, but I imagine every JUCO program is like this. I have one paid assistant, but he's doing his own high school thing. Like he also coaches high school soccer, so he's off. I got another one who's a nurse, and she's hit or miss on when she can be there. And then I have another one that's got his doctorate in physical therapy, so he's hit or miss. So it's a lot of times it's me solo, but let me tell you, my staff is fantastic. When they're there, man, it makes my life so much. You coached down the Division II level, didn't you?
I did, yep.
Were you assistant or head?
Oh, I was head, but basically I didn't have a budget for an assistant. Neither did the women's coach. So I was the de facto women's assistant, and he was the de facto men's assistant. So,
but when you're doing it by yourself, it's not nearly as good as when you have an assistant. So
absolutely,
every day I have an assistant. I just feel like it's a blessing. I just feel blessed. even just to bounce ideas off of, because I just like to hear different perspectives. And if they're not there, I lean on my captains quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you did the same thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you
So,
have to for sure.
mm.
So in terms of um, kind of just on the field, right? So how would you describe your style of coaching, your team style of play, and just that overall culture of the team?
Very adaptive. Like I know we'll change shape midstream. We'll change shape within a game if I feel like it's whatever's. I am not going to keep getting beat the same way. I am not so stubborn that I think like this is my way is the only way. I am and as I said, you were a coach. I steal so many good ideas. Anytime I see something that's working, I'm like, that's brilliant. That is, I'm doing that. That right there, I'm gonna see if that works for me. But as I said, I'm flexible. I would love to say that my system, what I'm running, that it's only going to work this way. But no, man, your players come in, they're different. You have an injury, it changes things. You this is not flowing this game this way. I feel like that what their shape is not conducive to win for what we're running. So we'll change. We try to be flexible. We try to be adaptive. And as I said, adaptive is just on anything. Like you might get there and the other team's wearing your uniform, even though you've discussed, hey, we're wearing white today and they're wearing, you can't sit around and be upset about it very long. You've got to figure out a plan. Like, hey, let's put some pennies on. Let's go. Let's put some training bibs on. Let's play. You've got to be able to be adaptive, especially on this level, on any level, I imagine. I said Division II, I'm sure the same way.
Yeah.
You had to be flexible. Sometimes a bus breaks down, you got to figure something else out. I mean, it's always something. And that's what I tell the girls all the time. You've got to be able to roll with the punches. And if you aren't, you're not just going to struggle in soccer. You're going to struggle in life. So you got to figure it out.
I got stories of broken down buses and
hey,
badly painted lines and all kinds of stuff.
100%.
Anyway,
Like it looks like a snake came out there. It's like, what's going on here?
no,
And here's the other thing. You probably take the blame for all of it. It's like every single time it's like, who did these lines? Like, I had a guy.
Yeah.
I had a guy do it.
Luckily, it was a road game, but we had a 12-yard box instead of an 18, and it was like, because the school we were playing at hired some guys from the county parks and rec who, just did 7-a-side fields, so they did the anyway.
I understand.
Life goes on. Well, Coach, we've talked about a lot of different things. You've given us some great information, and I always like to end these the same way. And that's what didn't we talk about? What else would you like people to know, whether it's about your school, about your team, about the college process in general, or really anything else? I give you the last few minutes here to drop some knowledge on us.
I want to step back to players need to reach out to us. I don't care if you're going to me. I don't care if you're going to the JUCO in Indiana. You find a program and you reach out to them and you talk to that coach. And here's another thing. Do not feel pressured by any coach. Like, do not feel like if they say there's a deadline by tomorrow night, then maybe that's not for you. Like if they're pressuring you into situations, you go where you feel like you can grow and you can be happy. And if you got if you got a championship program out there and you're fine with riding a bench, do that. If that's what you want, if that's the atmosphere you want, and that's the environment, if you want to go another route because you want to play, go that route. But don't feel pressured. Don't feel like you have to do anything that you don't want to do. You just try to find some place that you can be truly, truly happy. Now, the other part, reach out to us. Find us. Let us know that you're available. Don't assume that we know you. Just reach out to us. Send us a thing. So they say, hey, coach, I'm playing this game here. And you might not be a player that I might go to it and say, like, this is not for us. But if I don't know, I don't know. I will say this. I've had some players that thought that they weren't a good fit here that absolutely were. Like, reach out to us, let us know. And the last thing I'd like you to know is that if you do choose to come to Dyersburg State, we're going to treat you with respect and we are going to watch out for you. And if when you come here, a lot of people like to throw family around. They like to throw that word around that kind of drives me crazy. Like they'll cut your scholarship the minute you get injured. But family's not that way. Family watches out for you. We got your back. If you're here and you're here for the right reason, and we're going to get you. The only way you get kicked off this team is if you're an absolute pill. Like you just refuse to practice. You're a bad teammate. That's the only way you're not going to be here. You come here, we treat you like a human being, and we will watch out for you. And we just need to grow. I need talent. And if you're talented and you're out there, come talk to me. We'll see what we got.
Love it. Love it.
I really appreciate you doing this also.
No, well, thank you, Coach, and really appreciate the time. Wish you the best of luck the rest of the season, and we'll check in with you some other time down the road. And if you get down to Florida, give me a shout, all right?
I would love that. Thank you so much, Coach. I wish I was better looking for you. So you get what you get. So
that's all right. They've been looking at my ugly mug for a long time now, so I
appreciate it.
All right,
thank you. Anytime you need anything, reach out to me. Appreciate it.
Yep. We are excited to be part of Podcast Row at the 2023 United Soccer Coaches Convention in Philadelphia from January 11th to the 15th. The convention is the ultimate event for soccer coaches, administrators, and fans of the beautiful game. Ignite your passion through captivating presentations, on-field demonstrations, exhibits, and networking events for any coach. Whether you are attending alone or bringing the whole coaching staff, there's no better place for soccer coaches to learn, network, and experience the latest trends in soccer education. Visit www.unitedsoccercoachesconvention.org to register. Come join us as we celebrate our passion for the beautiful game.